Let's take you to Lagos, where investigations is underway to find out the true facts behind the actions of a man, Anthony Ikpeama, who is accused of beating his wife into coma and also removing her oxygen mask, which led to her death. Ikpeama has denied all the allegations, but the family of his late wife insists he has questions to answer. Social media has been agog with the news of late barrister Adaeze Destiny Ikpeama, wife of Anthony Elvis Ikpeama. The most shared on Facebook had as its header, "Another beautiful soul lost to domestic violence." Anthony, who is still in police custody, says he couldn't have killed his 6 months pregnant wife and mother of his 2 children.
I came back and she woke me up that she's having pain in her stomach. So my mind went to the appendix. When she told me that, my mind went there. I told her, please, is there any way you can manage so that they can break, because there is curfew? Just try and see if you can sleep back a little. Then she said, no, that this pain is something else. I took her immediately, put her in the car, and rushed her to Doreen Hospital, because that's the only hospital we know. Since we got married, that is the hospital we've been going to. We've never been to any other hospital. They have all her medical records. So we went there. The emergency doctor, wanted to start treatment. I said, wait, let me call the gynecologist who knows about her condition. So I called the gynecologist. The gynecologist said I should drop. Let him call the hospital direct and tell them what to do so that he can start coming around 6 a.m. I was in the theater and they opened her up. The owner of the hospital was there. The owner of the hospital called me, come and see. The uterus has ruptured. That the placenta shifted and ruptured the uterus. And they brought out the baby, alive. And they pulled out the uterus and cleaned it up and tied it back and put it. And the owner of the hospital came by himself and did the appendix, or cut out the appendix, put the appendix, and bring out all the blood. And she lost a lot of blood. They were telling me then that a human being always have 5 pints, but that he has lost about 4 pints. I sat down in the emergency room. By then, my mother-in-law has already called Bob, who used to stay with us for about 3 years. But because he refused to do anything, I was forced to ask him to leave our house during February. So immediately Bob came. Bob has already started making problem with the hospital people because they don't want to give him any information. So they have to come and call me from the emergency room. Come and control your in-law. I had to come out and tell Bob, see what happened though. And I went upstairs to the ICU unit. They were bringing her upstairs from the ICU unit to down because the main ICU unit, they were repairing it. They removed the ICU unit from her and was bringing her down to refix her in the ICU unit downstairs. So I came downstairs with them and they were cleaning her up and her eyes was closing. And they told me to go out, let them clean her up and refix the ventilator in her stomach.
But was there ever a case of domestic violence in his home, and what transpired before her death?
Never. All my life, all the time I have married my wife, I have never touched her. We have misunderstanding like husband and wife, but it has never led to anybody slapping each other.
Late Destiny's elder brother and her mother are devastated and counters Anthony's claim of having a peaceful home.
If she's sitting with me and I say her husband, she will run. As I observe that, I say, no, this is an abusive marriage. So, and when I interviewed her, she sighed and said, mommy, she don't want trouble. And she know that I'll be hot. But she feel with time, he will change. I say, nobody changes. Let us leave now that it's not too late.
The brother gives an account of what happened when he met his sister at her hospital bed.
On the 8th of April, previous to that day, he has been, I met my sister, she told me she was about leaving this marriage because the man used to abuse her. I came back, I saw television broken, both in his penthouse and in the parlor. Every television was broken. I approached him and said, why are you breaking television in front of the kids? He told me it's his house, that he's him that bought the TV. He can break whatever I want. I said, man, you're leaving this marriage today, I'm tired. She said no, that she's already pregnant and it's a risky one. So during the recovery process, I was there. He left. That was between 6 to 7 o'clock. So they said she have digressed to respiratory problem, that the flus are not good. Because we could read it on the meter, she's digressing from 91 to 70. They said, no, we need to take this one to ICU. So he went into the ICU. The nurse told us to go back. I was at his back. I went back, but he refused to go back. He asked, is he recovering? They said, yes, sir. She's at 91. That's why we don't want you to make noise. So she should not get back to. He said, okay, then why is that this thing on her face? Ventilator on her face. Is this COVID-19? Is this COVID-19? He started going close to her. Is this COVID-19? No, so I said, Oga, come back. As he hit her, this thing, wanted to take it off. The nurse was like, Oga, come back. Pushed his hand back. He now gave the nurse a dirty slap. Pushed the nurse to the wall. Started shaking the bed. So me now, I tried to hold him, say, uncle, relax. He now pushed my hand, went close to my sister's face and say, Ada, your baby is dead. You born a dead child for me. Ada, you killed your baby. That's when I rushed him and gave him a dirty slap. Me and some of the nurses, he was fighting with us. We dragged him. My sister started shaking. We dragged my sister. I said, the baby is there. My sister, I opened and closed back. He started fluctuating from 91, going back to 52 that we were working for. So we forced him with the security in the hospital, the nurses, so, everybody around with a friend of mine. We forced him, took him. He was fighting with us. They had to keep him outside the hospital.
When did you realize you've lost your sister?
When I realized he lost my sister was that particular moment, that thing he did. My sister started speaking in tongues. She didn't say anything normal again. Like she was speaking like a dead person. Not that she was speaking audible, like she was speaking, I knew I've lost her. Then the next day, he came and said they should move her from this hospital to another hospital. I was like, no, you can't do this. He said he's the next of kin that should allow him his wife. I said, okay. He said him and his brothers, they started fighting in the hospital. I was like, even this people are fighting also is disturbing my sister. So at the point when we now got to the hospital, we now entered the ventilator. They now transfer my hospital. After putting pressure on the hospital, on the road, we got to the hospital. The other hospital now confirmed my sister that she's already dead. So someone now said she shook her hand. Someone said she saw her shaking her hand. They said she's alive. Okay, I heard she's alive. Okay, let's take her back to Doreen. On the way to Doreen, he was in the ambulance. Me, as we were in his, I entered my friend's car. Him and the driver took my sister to Ajah police station. We are the Doreen. We said, where are you guys now? Come with the body, come with her. They said, yeah, just what are you guys doing there? We have no excuse. So we went there. I was like, him and his brother, they went there. They're talking to police. I say, you people are talking to police. Why? This girl is still alive and there is no oxygen in this car. Second, that has great scene. They took her back to Doreen. As I opened the door, I saw my sister. Her eye have changed yellow. I knew she was dead. I took a selfie with her. I have a sister, a cousin sister that is 14 years old that lives with them. Me and my mom and my siblings went to get my sister out of the house. So around the way, we know she was hungry. So let's buy food for her. So we were buying food with some friends. Ignorantly, I asked her, God, a friend of mine was saying, this girl should be beating your sister. I said, have your Oga ever beat your madam before? She said, yes. That Oga was punching madam's stomach. She didn't tell me the time. She said that she saw Oga punching madam's stomach severally. Madam was crying. Then I asked the gatesman again that, you see, your Oga have killed your madam. The gatesman told me, yes. So I told my mom that let's go to that parlor. This man always has CCTV camera. He monitors my sister's movements. Because he restricted my sister's movement, smashed her phone. My sister don't even chat with neighbors. He don't allow them out. So I told him, if this CCTV camera is off, that means truly this guy off this camera and kill my sister. Lo and behold, camera is on 24 hours because we always have light, even forever. The CCTV camera was off.
As police continues with its investigation, would Anthony's surname, Ikpama, which in Igbo language means not guilty, come through for him? Or would the pendulum of the law swing in favor of our family?
I suffered 3-4 children in McDonald's, and my only daughter died out of abusive marriage up to death.